WebTMA training video. In today's video we are going to discuss how to inactivate a building and then how to use the new custodial module to inactivate all of the areas and rooms within that building. The first step in this process is going to be inactivating the building itself. That's going to be done in the organization menu, building, records. In this case, I'm going to inactivate the Angel Dale house in my database. But if I wanted to look at a whole list of the buildings that I currently have, I would click the Browse tab, and then all my buildings would show up here. In this case, I have 83, but I'm going to do the top one, which is the Angel Dale house. Now I'm going to click the Edit button on my standard TMA toolbar, and I'm going to adjust this to inactive. So if I wanted to make it active again, I would make sure that box is checked. If I want it inactive, I check that box and make sure that that active checkbox is not checked. So I click Save, and now I've got an inactive building. Now, what that doesn't do is inactivate all of the areas within that building, so it requires another step to accomplish that. And as I previously mentioned, that's going to be done in a new feature in the custodial module called the Area Template Mass Update. So if I pull down the Transactions menu and go down to New Custodial, you'll see an option called Area Template Mass Update. Once I click that, I'll have some options. So I'm going to do this from the beginning. So I'm just going to click the Clear button, and that takes it back to where I have nothing selected, but it will remember what you previously selected. So every time you come in here, it remembers what you did the previous time you were here. And if you wanted to erase that, you click this Clear button at the bottom. But in this case, I want to select a building. So I'm going to select a building. I leave the second one blank. The pull down there is for building types. For what I'm trying to do right here, I don't care about the building type, I just want the building. So I'm going to pull down this drop down, and it's that top one, ADH1554 is my Angel Dale house. Now, over here on the right is options for area types. In this case, I want to inactivate every single room in the building, so I'm just going to select all to select area types. But if I only wanted to inactivate restrooms or corridors or specific floors or whatever, I could drill down to those. However, I'm just going to do the entire building. Now, while we're here, I'm going to discuss some of the other options here as well. So I could search by the flooring type, carpet, hard surface, terrazzo, etc. I could also search by spaces that are on a particular custodial template. These would be like corridors with carpet floor, restrooms, offices, etc. And I could also search by area function. In this case, we don't want to do any of those things, but I wanted to point them out. So we're just going to select every space that's in the Angel Dale house, and then I click List Areas. Once I click List Areas, it shows me all of the spaces. So remember, we're going to inactivate these spaces. So I just want to select all. That top button in TMA is always a select all, so I don't have to go through and click each one individually. So now I've got my spaces selected. Each one of these represents a room, a specific room. So at the very bottom, there's a Mass Update button. So if I click that Mass Update button, I can select to make these inactive. So notice I've told it to include the active or inactive, but if I select the checkbox, that would make them all active. If I unselect the checkbox, it will make them all inactive. So by leaving it blank here, it will turn these rooms from active to inactive. So once I've done that, all I have to do is click Update. I'm going to go ahead and go over that one more time because it can be a little bit confusing to not select something. The way to think about this is all these spaces out here that you can see in the background are currently active. So I'm using this tool called the Mass Update tool to put a new value on them, which there's the new value. So I don't want them to be checked. So because I want them to be unchecked, I'm going to hit the include button but leave the value unchecked which will give us the update that we desire. So I'm going to click Update at the bottom, and it'll say the selected records have been successfully updated. So at this point, I have successfully inactivated all of these spaces and inactivated the building, which makes the whole building inactive in a way. So you'll notice here, once I navigated, these are hyperlinks over here to the area. So once I zoom to this area, you can now see that this space is no longer active. If I wanted to make it active again, I could leave these all selected, hit mass update again, hit include, but this time I want them to be active again. Maybe I made a mistake and I need to reactivate these spaces for whatever reason. And I click that update button and it says, hey, this has been successful. And now when I click on any of these areas, you're going to notice that that active checkbox is checked again. So I made it inactive, and I can use the exact same tool, the area template mass update within the new custodial module, to make it active again. Thank you for watching this video, and have a great day.